What's up, guys? In today's episode, I go over my new Mesa 290 power amp. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy Louis Torres, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and like the video even before you watch it, because that's how we do it up here. Anyway, so for ages, I remember being a little kid and going to L'Amour's in Brooklyn, and it was always these touring bands that would constantly have these rack systems. So in my mind, it's always just like, that is the epitome of music success, is seeing White Lion from Staten Island play in Brooklyn, because the owner of Brooklyn actually was their financial backer. So they would always play L'Amour. And they, Vito Bratta would show up with these rack systems. And I'm just like, damn it, dude. Like, not that I liked White Lion, but they would open up for other bands. And it was just like, dude, it could be a hardcore show. And you know who'd be the headlining band? White Lion. It was always crazy. It's like, wait a minute, I don't get how there are all these opening acts that are really heavy and then it's White Lion, but whatever, it is what it is, right? They're basically our neighbors, so it's all right. So fast forward to me starting to play again, and it's 2016, and I'm already thinking, I already had like 2 or 3 half stacks. And, again, all of a sudden I'm just like, let me start checking in on rack systems. And dude, everything is a fraction of what things were back in 1991. So why not? So I went ahead and got this giant, massive rack that I have on the side. But at one point, as I was on my Mesa adventure, someone had mentioned that there is a clone of a dual rectifier called the SLLD by a company in Russia called R&R Sound. R&R amplification. Okay, so I forgot what it was. So then I ended up buying it, and it's absolutely incredible. But I never really understood why it sounded better than my dual rectifiers until recently, when someone said, oh, they actually voiced that SLLD based on the Mesa dual rectifier multi-watt. And if you've never used a multi-watt because you have a dual rectifier or a triple rectifier, an earlier model, just know that the multi-watt is voiced a little better, just enough that it's a huge difference when you're playing out of it. So, long story short, some guy out of the blue ends up messaging me. He's like, hey, how do you still like that SLLD? I'm like, I absolutely love it. Turned out to be Mike Hasty, the guitarist of Walls of Jericho in Detroit, Michigan. So we became, now we're like brothers. We hit each other up all week long. We're like, what's up? What are you doing? So again, same thing. Like, I feel like a lot of this gear was always geared towards the touring guitarist, and Mike Hasty has been for years. So he happened to have this Mesa 290, and it takes up 2 spaces, and Mike has been itching to get a 1-space power amp section, and I'm just like, you want to sell your 290? And he's like, sure. End up PayPaling him immediately on the spot. He's like, oh, whoa, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I just sent you money. So it ended up coming in. I plopped it in there alongside my R&R SLLD, which again is a dual rectifier multi-watt clone. and it sounds incredible. Of course, I'm trying to decide if it's the or see if it's really the preamp or if it's the power amp that's really kind of, changing the voicing a bit. And I ended up running my KSR series out of it, and it's absolutely brutal with this power amp. So if you guys get the chance, if you're into rack systems and you have a favorite preamp pedal, preamp rack, and you are trying to figure out which power amp to use, without question, you have to get the Mesa 290. I've never used the 2020 or what's the other one? Is it the 250 or 5050 maybe? But I actually have a Marshall 9000 power amp that takes up 4 spaces in this rack, and it's an EL34. It's incredible. I also have a Marshall 8008, which is a single rack, and that's 80 watts per channel, but that's solid state. So, but the Mesa is absolutely incredible. I know I'm going on 6 minutes of yapping. If, again, you're trying to figure out, like, all right, I have this preamp, I love it, I just need something to power it. New, they're kind of hefty. They're about 17 to 1800. Used, you'll find them between 750 and 900. Worth it. Look. I paid 500 for this thing, right? This is the Seymour Duncan Power Stage 200. This is a beast if you're going to pair it up with a Kemper, profiler, a head rush, pedal board, anything along those lines. This is going to be perfect. This does not roar the way the Mesa 290 does. So keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my ESPs, plug that puppy in, and you guys can have a listen. What's up, guys? So I'm actually running guitar. This is my 1991 ESP M2 Custom. This is the one with the Seymour Duncan Nazgul in the bridge. This is running out to my Pepper's Dirty Tree and running into my R&R SLLD, which is plugged into and powered by my new Mesa 290 power amp. So let's have a listen. By now, you guys already know me as the guy that plays dadcore. Hopefully you guys were able to hear what that sounds like. And believe it or not, I actually kind of tested it and ran it out of my Headrush FR monitor. And to me, it sounded great. Hopefully it sounds great on your end. If you're listening with your cell phone, it may not sound that great, but hopefully you have a good pair of Sennheiser headphones that you can hear the tone with. Yeah, dude, like shocking. So here's the delivery guy, and the box wasn't big, but the thing weighed like 100 pounds. So, you could see the guy's face that he was just like, as he's, just cutting through my lawn. And I was just like, I'll grab that. So, I didn't want him to just chuck it and be like this damn heavy thing. So plugged it in, was shocked. And like I said, I wasn't just going to leave it to chance and think that maybe the SLLD suddenly sounded better out of the blue. So I ran my KSR series, my Dietzel Herbert preamp pedal, along with my 2 notes Le Lead, which it just sounds brutal. So it's shocking to hear. And if you're a Mesa guy, then I clearly understand why you prefer Mesa versus Marshall. I have both. I get the 2 different tones. The Mesa 290 Poweramp is a little different. It's definitely different than, even if I were to use my KSR Aries, which is a 6L6, if I use those pedals through the effects loop, which I have done, it's definitely a different tone. But keep in mind that the Mesa 290 Poweramp comes with 3 12AX7s and 8 6L6 power amps or power tubes. So it's a beast, and it is ridiculously heavy. So hopefully you guys would consider getting a power amp like that. If you're into rack systems, you're going to absolutely love it. I've gone through a few different power amps from solid state to tubes, and that one is by far my absolute favorite. So Mike Hasty, thank you so much. Again, like I do in most of my videos, I will put a link below to my favorite song by Walls of Jericho, so you guys can have a listen. And again, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. And again, thank you so much for letting me into your crazy domain and letting you, and just sharing the crazy things that I end up buying so you guys can decide whether or not it's something that you want in your arsenal. Guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. And as usual, this guy will see you soon.